Yeah, but she's no longer, kissing vampires, that's for sure. So props to her. I want to take us on a little side quest.
Goku's one of the greatest anime heroes of all time. He's badass. He's awesome.
Dude, hands down, Final Fantasy VII wins every day.
How could you not love the Mario Brothers movie?
RoboCop kicks everyone else's ass.
And that's why Superman sucks.
Oh, the Velociraptors kick ass in Jurassic Park every single day.
Yep, went on a bit of a rant there, huh?
Oh, welcome back, everybody. This is Eric with the Sidequest podcast. We are another episode into our season 2.0. It is now November, and we've got a lot of fun main quests coming at you. We're going to talk about some go-to November movies you want to watch. We're going to talk about some remakes versus fresh games. We're also going to talk about the new weird what the fuck is going on with Pixar Buzz Lightyear. So join us right now as we start our main quests of the day. So gentlemen, welcome to the show. Always great to have you. I want to know, what are some of our go-to November movies? I know it's kind of a weird month, right? We're between the spooky season, holiday season of the Christmas movies. So, it's not that Thanksgiving week where you start to watch the, Thanksgiving movies, but like, what are some of your go-to November movies that you like to watch that we should put on our listeners' radar? Justin, I'm going to pass this ball over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, and bienvenidos, Enrique!
Oh, hey!
Oops.
Oops.
Tamale! No, so for me, there's a couple of things that really come to mind when I think about November, and I think it's a great time as we pass off October. We just finished off the World Series, so baseball movies are always good. In November, football movies are always good. There's a lot of great sports movies out there that sort of fill the gap in the feeling of loneliness between Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. But for me, my massive go-to November movie is a Thanksgiving movie. And I know we'll touch on this, and I know we've touched on it in the past, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which they've been trying to remake for a little while now. But my first side question to you both is Chris Farley versus John Candy.
Oh my gosh.
Not a fair question.
Jeff, I'll let you answer that one in anger because it's
Told
tough
you
to
it was
answer.
a whopper.
They're just two totally different, comedy greats. I mean, they're both lovable. One is louder than the other one. I mean, Chris Farley's definitely got the energy and the loudness, but John Candy's got more of that subtle, just that lovable guy, but also kind of goofy and quirky. You can't. It's an impossible question. There is no answer.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I can't give you one. They're both, in my book, equally, and some of the best comedians, or at least comic actors, that have ever walked this earth.
Yeah, it's kind of like, do you want Chinese food or Mexican food tonight? Because you're going to get that flavor and that taste. And I agree with Jeff. It's tough. I mean, if you, a gun to my head, had to choose, I suppose I would go with John Candy. For the reason being that I love how he kind of, like Jeff said, he's kind of that lovable comedic actor. He's a very family guy. He's in a lot of classics. Not that Chris Farley isn't, but Chris Farley's more of that slapstick, hey, I want to, it was almost like stoner comedies before there were stoner comedies, if that makes sense. So I would have to pick John Candy. Now, Justin, you have the difficult part of answering your own question. Who the fuck would you pick?
For me, it's easy. I agree with everything that both of you have said. I mean, you're not wrong. Chris Farley is a comedic genius, but John Candy growing up was that he was Uncle Buck in every way, shape, and form. To every movie I've seen him in, he's always that loving, nurturing, caring screwball who will fucking put a drill to your head if you do him wrong. And I say hands down it's John Candy. And it's a tough question. So audience, Claudia, chime in. Let us know what you think. I mean, is there is there a clear winner between the Battle of the Beasts?
Yeah, that's a really good side quest. I mean, even in when I think of November, between the spooky season and holiday season, like all I can think of is it's a nice time to just settle down and watch some comedies. Like I feel like if there's a theme for November, it's let's just chill out, let's watch some funny comedies. And like you said, Justin, like between John Candy and Chris Farley, like there's a whole library there to choose from. So whether it's Thanksgiving related or November related, I just think like overall the theme for November is if you're going to pick one, go with comedies because the holidays are coming up, things get crazy, family gets weird, a lot of stuff happens, so might as well settle down and just have some laugh of us. Yeah, I guess that's like my cop out answer on my own question is I don't really have good solid November movies where it's like, hey, this is my catalog. I just think for me it's more like November is funny time. Let's settle down and chill out and have fun. And Jeff, I'm gonna pass the ball over to you. What do you think about November?
It's kind of the coming down from summer and then fall, which, for us is super busy. So, I was thinking about this question today, but I don't really have any November movies. I mean, I also just realized today, like, I just don't watch many movies.
Oh,
Like, I'll watch Dune because that came out and I'm interested in that. But I know there was a bunch of other stuff that came on HBO Max. And I just don't. I mean, for November for me is like a good time to like really jump back into gaming.
mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of that, which takes up most of the time. So I don't. It's either play, the new expansion for Final Fantasy that's coming out, or spend 2 hours watching a movie, and I'll always pick playing the game. So I don't. And I also read a lot too, so this is also a great time of year. It starts getting colder, and I can just
Right.
sit and kind of dive into my crazy fantasy novels. And I have a new one. Shout out to Becky for recommending that. So I'm gonna test that out, and I'll give an update. Maybe we'll get her on to discuss it.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, there's a couple anime that I'm gonna watch. A lot of gaming and reading, and I don't think there'll be many movie watching at all outside of right up to Thanksgiving with family. That will
Yeah.
probably be my movie extent.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to put you in a category, I feel like you rewatch good movies that you like. I know you like to watch new movies every once in a while, but I feel like you like to stick to your own classics, and I appreciate and
Yeah,
respect that.
yeah, I just tend to go back to the stuff I watch. I mean, I'll watch Star Wars again for the thousandth time over some new, and I'm just
Yeah.
movies these days just outside. Yes, if it's a new Marvel movie or if it's a new like sci-fi like Dune or new Blade Runner, I'll absolutely like I love those movies because I love the original ones to it. But outside, I don't watch stuff where if it's not really fantasy or sci-fi, I don't watch it really
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, I'll watch the old classics like, you know, um, what's the Mel Gibson movie? The
Braveheart.
where he's a cop. No, where
Or
he's a cop.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, like Lethal Weapon. I'll watch some of those.
How dare I?
Braveheart.
How dare I?
I know, and but I don't watch anything new. If it has to do with like drug dealer and all this stuff, I just don't watch it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not into it. And my time, all of our time's limited. And there's such great stories in gaming and in some of the anime and obviously in books that I actually read that I'm just more in tuned with that,
Yeah.
to be honest. I don't know if other people are. I mean, leave us a comment. Are you more do you find yourself lately with the way the gaming industry is going and the story driven games that they're doing, along with some of these TV shows that are coming out that are almost better than movies, at
Yeah.
least outside of the Marvel and Matrix. Obviously, I'll go see that, but yeah, I was kind of thinking about that today. I'm like, I just if I got some free time, I'm gonna game. Honestly,
Yeah. Bring up a good point. That's something I'm trying to get back into is knowing that it's starting to get colder out, I'm going to be spending more time inside, and I've been watching so many movies and TV shows over the last couple months that I need to switch gears, get into gaming. So everybody out there, let us know what you guys are up to. Watching, gaming, reading. Let us know. Hit us up in the comments. But I got to jump into our first segment because you know what? November movies is a tough one. We'll get a little bit more in depth when we talk about our Thanksgiving episode, what our greats are, top 3 Thanksgiving movies, all that fun stuff. So what I want to start with is our retro gaming segment.
Let's go.
Oh, well, I don't know why I thought about this game recently, but it was one of the first greats of its kind, which was Twisted Metal on PlayStation.
So good.
It is so good.
Such a great game.
If for those of you out there that are like, what the fuck is Twisted Metal? It's basically a vehicular combat video game. You drive around in a car. Each car has its own specialties. It's basically like a Destruction Derby style game, but a lot of cars have like missiles and rockets and specials, and all you try to do is kill all the other cars. So it's fun, it's addictive. Back in the day, it was like one of those great multiplayer games. You go over to a friend's house to play, and so this game came out back in 1995. I was so surprised when I saw that this came out in 1995. I thought it was much later. I don't know why. This game came out on the PlayStation. It was basically one of the big first PlayStation games that came out, and so guys, I gotta throw this one over to you. What are our first kind of memories and thoughts of Twisted Metal? Jeff, I'm gonna throw this one over to you.
I mean, Twisted Metal is kind of one of those, I feel, one of those important games, like we talked last week with Doom.
Yep.
Not in the sense that it was like a genre-changing game, but what it did is it was a game you got the PlayStation for. And I think it swapped a lot because outside of PlayStation at the time, it was just Nintendo just dominating everything. And Nintendo and 64 and what Nintendo's thing still is today, it's multiplayer. That's what Nintendo has been doing, and that's what they still do. I mean, obviously they have Zelda and things like that come out, and Pokemon where you could do single player stuff, but for the most part, it's always been Mario Kart and Goldeneye and all that. And I feel that Twisted Metal was the first time like PlayStation came out with a 4-player game that people were hyped about. And if you had a friend who had a PlayStation, they got this game, you played it, and you're like, I got to get a PlayStation because it was gorier, it was more adult orientated. Where Nintendo, the death battle was like Donkey Kong Racing, which had great, 4-player death battle and stuff, but it wasn't Twisted Metal.
Right.
And Twisted Metal also did they were kind of some of the pioneers on the environment destruction. So you could blow up the Eiffel Tower and it would fall while you're playing. And if you got under it, you would explode. And then it created new ways to kill the other cars you're trying to destroy by driving up the exploded part of the Eiffel Tower. So in that regard, I think it was like one of those, in a way, important game, at least for Sony. Because then people jumped to Sony once they got that. And then you found this whole other thing, because Sony is more single-player stuff. Like, Justin will tell you that with all the Final Fantasies and, JRPGs and stuff are very single-player orientated. But Twisted Metal was that.
Yeah.
Was that one that got you to PlayStation. 4-player death battles. Please give us another one.
Yes.
Maybe come out on Xbox so we can all play on Game Pass or something. That would be awesome.
Exactly. Justin, how about you?
Jeff, you hit it on the head. I mean, everything about Twisted Metal and its legacy is freaking fantastic. But I came in a little late to the game. It was Twisted Metal 2 for me that sort of set the stage for that type of gaming. And I think that the characters, the specials, the levels, the environment, and the story behind the game was just so much fun. And it was like Mortal Kombat in a sense where you beat story mode with whichever character you're playing as, and you get this epic ending, and it was like individualized to whatever character that you happen to think was the best, and mine was Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised when I look back through the Wikipedia page. Like it was pretty panned as far as like the reviews go. Like Game Rankings gave it like a 66%. Then like EGM and GamePro gave it like really good scores in the 90s. So it was not for everybody. And being kind of the first of its kind in the realm of like a strictly car destruction derby battle. I remember going to a friend's house and playing it, and it was a great time. It was a good, fun sleepover game. And then one game that followed up with it, which was not Twisted Metal, but Vigilante 8. That game was one of my favorites as well. But I feel like without Twisted Metal, that game never existed.
Now here's a fun little side quest. What was your go-to car?
Ooh.
God. What was the
God.
one that you were like, this is where I'm going to fuck some shit up today?
I mean, I'll admit I got to look up the name of the fucker, but I mean, the guy who did not want to play the clown that was on fire, the ice cream truck.
Sweet Tooth.
Yes, Sweet Tooth was the badass. I'm glad you guys knew off the top of your head, but like that was the reason you bought the game was because you wanted to be Sweet Tooth. And honestly, the rest of the cars I could give two shits about because I was so madly in love with just being Sweet Tooth, and it was awesome. So I don't know. What about you guys?
Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
I was just going to say, I mentioned Axel already, but for me, a close second was Spectre. And maybe he wasn't in the first game, but he was the one that had the ghost missile that would fly through the level and just hit you no matter where you were. And it'd be, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. And he was the dude with like arms like attached to the wheels. Like he was just
That was Axel. Axel that had the arms were attached to the wheel, and he did that like earthquake kind of a move when you got real close. So it was really good to just like spam somebody with your like machine gun bullets and or flamethrower, and then you get them real close as they're trying to hit you up, and then you just boom knock them over.
Jeff, what about you? What was your favorite?
Yeah, so I always like Spectre just because it was kind of more the, I don't know, kind of James Bondy looking one, or at least the closest one. And it had that like ghost missile that was basically the Twisted Metal version of the blue shell from Mario Kart. So it would just follow your opponent until they got blown up, which was pretty great. And I did play Sweet Tooth quite a bit as well. It was kind of a mix between the two of them. And that was it. I just kind of stuck to them.
Yeah, I spent so much more time on Vigilante 8 than Twisted Metal, but it was still great back in the day, but man, one of those games that I just wish, Jeff, like you said, like, why not bring it back? I was a huge fan of Road Rash back in the day, where you're just on motorcycles and you're kicking and hitting people with chains and bats and like tasers. I don't know what happened to that whole realm of like just fun combat racing games. I just wish they would come back in some form or fashion and like be cool again, because please, I would spend money on that. So with that being said, boys, let's jump back into our main quest. So speaking of video games, I know we kind of talked a little bit about this before, but I wanted to know a little bit more of your guys' thoughts, because lately nowadays, I feel like there's this big resurgence of remakes, of video games. There are remakes, remasters, whatever we want to call them. Maybe remaster is the better word for it. But why do companies feel like they should spend their time and dollars and effort into remasters as opposed to fresh games? And I'm a little bit salty about it, but I want to know your guys' take on, do you guys love remasters? Are you excited about them? Jeff, I know we talked a little bit about Mass Effect recently, but would you rather companies spend more time with remasters or bring us a fresh new story and fresh new game? Justin, I'm throwing it over to you.
Well, thank you, Enrique. My short answer is original content all day long. The long answer is I appreciate what these companies are doing by dialing into gamers' nostalgia and you can never defeat the fact or the memories of, like we just talked about, if they did a Twisted Metal remake or remaster when they came out with the mini PlayStation emulator box thing, like that was one of the games that was included with it, and I was super excited about that. But like, you can always go back to one where you were in 1995, 96, 97, playing that game with your friends and revisit those emotions and those feelings again for a second time in your life. And you cannot put you can put a price tag on that. It's $60, but I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's like, just give us something fresh. Let's let creativity shine. And the movie industry does it. The music industry does it. The video game industry does it. I mean, the only thing that you don't really get is like remastered. I guess you get remastered books, but you don't get like there's not a new Lord of the Rings book that somebody else is writing.
Right. Okay, good point. I'm going to jump in next before you, Jeff. I'm kind of sick of the remasters. I think it was cool for a short amount of time. Like, hey, when video games went from coming out in 2000, let's say 2004 to 2010, and now new graphics and systems are around, and some of our what I'll call a classic of that time is now coming back. Like, cool. Okay, great. But I personally would rather see the fresh game. So, Justin, I'm with you. Spend our time, effort, creativity into not just brushing off and dusting off the details and the artwork. Give us a new game. Like, let's get something that is exciting. I know, like, GTA is one of those that is, like, notorious right now for... We had GTA come out in, like, 2012, 2013, the latest, like, GTA 5. And now what they're spending all their money on is remastering GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And, like, people are getting hyped up and excited about it, but it's like, for me, I would much rather have, like, a GTA 6 or 7 or whatever it is. Like, keep releasing new, exciting games. Spend your dollars and your effort into, like, a new, fun story. I guess if we were to compare this to movies, like, how many times can you have, like, the same original Star Wars movie? Like, just imagine it polished off every 3 years by George Lucas, where he adds and deletes and, like, puts his bullshit CGI into stuff that just looks weird and not with the times. So I don't know. I'm a huge fan of, let's get the fresh games going, give us new stories, new characters, more things to be excited about. And with that, Jeff, don't blow it. Are you going to be our third vote?
So, question for you first, before I go into my answer. What are you say you don't like remasters. What games of these remasters don't you like and that you played when you were younger? Because I know you've never played Ocarina of Time, so if they remastered that, that's a classic, and now you get a chance to actually play it. So what is the harm in it? So what are, like, three of the ones that they've remastered that you've really played quite a bit of that you don't like the remaster of?
Fair question. The Halo franchise recently did that, like, Master Chief edition, and I purchased multiple games of those just because they were a little bit newer graphics and better detail, and it actually made me want to go back and just play the original.
Nostalgia
again. Second is Goldeneye. They did this back in, it might have even been like 2008 or 9, where Goldeneye was remade, and they put it on, I think it was Xbox Arcade at the time, where they just, like, remade Goldeneye and they updated it with, new graphics. Similar thing, where I was just like, I just miss the original polygons and, like, multiplayer and, like, the nostalgia of having all your friends over and, like, us playing when we were growing up. A third of those, I don't even know. Recently, I can name a third, but to me, again, it just, like Justin said, it kind of falls back to nostalgia. Like, I get what they're trying to do is, like, let's make it new and exciting and improved. But it just, for me, takes away the magic that happened the first go around. I don't think I've had a remaster that I was like, oh my God, this is so much fucking better than the original. Like, I can't believe I ever played the original because this remaster is so good.
That's interesting. So yeah, I'm totally for them because with Mass Effect, Elder Scrolls, GTA, you're saying they're spending their time on remastering. They're actually not. All those games are coming out with new games. The remaster helps get people back into the lore of the game. And I go on Reddit quite a bit, and some game devs chime in with people asking the questions you're asking. It doesn't cost the game company barely anything to remaster these games. So, Mass Effect, they touch up lighting, they touch up their resources aren't really being used for it. They're still making a Mass Effect 4, but they remade Mass Effect, the whole original trilogy. Would I ever go back to the original Mass Effect games? Fuck no. Hell no. The remaster is better looking. The gameplay is more refined. All the DLCs are there. The story is more. They were able to incorporate the DLCs to make the story sound better. So absolutely not. If they remade, the Dragon Age series, I'd love that. I'd love to get back in the lore because they're making Dragon Age 4. So GTA, the next GTA, they are working on it. They've talked about it. They're just remastering this, and it's a way for them to kind of, I guess, get people back in it. And according to a lot of these game devs on Reddit, it's not costing these companies really any time or money. Like remaking a movie or making a Ghostbusters new movie with that piece of shit, not the one that's coming out. That is taking away from a sequel that we could have gotten. With these remakes, not so much. I think Nintendo Switch is coming out with all of the, I think like 19 original Nintendo 64 games, and they're remastering them. So would I ever go back and sit on my Nintendo 64 to play Mario 64 or this new, kind of cleaned up version? Controls are a little bit more responsive. The quality of the picture is a lot better on the new OLED screen on the Switch. So no, I don't think it takes away from anything. Um, if they made a Twisted Metal and updated it for Xbox, we'd all buy it because it's a great game. I don't want to go back and play these games on the old systems.
But would you, Mass Effect, for instance, right? I know you were excited, you enjoyed playing the remaster of it. But let's just say, they're not coming out with a new Mass Effect in 5 years from now. They're like, hey, we're gonna do a remaster of Mass Effect 3. Would you still feel the same way?
No, because they wouldn't do that. They've never done that with anything. So I can confidently say they will not do that.
But what if they
Especially
did?
with the major success that Mass Effect had in EA's their second quarterly whatever was, it was a giant push, and they were planning on making Mass Effect 4 prior to that, but what it did is it really now gave us Mass Effect 4. So in some ways, these remasters can get people talking about some of the older games, and it also gives it the possibility to then get a next game. I mean, look at Diablo Resurrected that came out. Blizzard showed that they had their third quarter earnings call yesterday, which I was reading up on. And Diablo Resurrected, which is the Diablo remaster, Diablo 2, it destroyed. They made so much money. So there are so many people that apparently are for this stuff. And they're making Diablo 4. They've announced that 2 years ago. All this is just a little icing on the cake.
Okay.
I'm not going to play Diablo 2, the original version, knowing this touched up, more responsive Diablo 2. I never got to play Diablo 2. So Diablo Remastered sounds really cool to me because it's updated. It'll work on my big monitor where the original one won't. And it'll have a couple little extra bells and whistles they always wished they had in the original. So I haven't heard of any remaster that has made the game worse. Now they do remakes, which they did with Final Fantasy VII, but that game was. I never got to play the original. I would never go back and play the original. I know Justin would be like, "Oh my god, it's the great." I can't deal with the old way of the graphics where it's not voice acted. I'd probably never go back. but I did get 7 remake because it's updated. It's got voice acting, and that's what I'm used to now, and that's what I want to spend my time. So even the remake there, and they're still making a new Final Fantasy, and they're still updating Final Fantasy Online. So I haven't heard of any company that they're wasting time on either a remake or a remaster.
Oh, GTA is. Since 2013, we've been waiting for a new game to come out.
GTA, yeah, but their business model is getting you to play GTA online. It's a cash cow for them.
Right,
The
exactly.
single player does not make them money.
Yeah, that's where I need some change.
That's a weird one because they're like Mass Effect has no online. Dragon Age has no online. These are like single player RPGs. The Ocarina of Time has no online. So it's better to remaster it and get some more money out of it and get people talking about it. With, a GTA, I don't, I'm not a huge GTA fan, but I know that online thing is where they make a shit ton of money, and that's all they care about.
All their kids' allowance money's going towards it.
Yeah,
for
that's all. That's
sure.
why they're just sitting, not making anything new for it. Because why? They're making the
Yeah.
moment these cash cows get bored of GTA 5, whatever they're on online, and their revenue stream stops coming in, they'll make a new one. But remember, gaming companies are all about making money. I mean, same with movie studios. In the end, it's not art. It's not to please you. It's for them to make money because they're a business.
Right. Good fucking points. Justin, what do you think about all that? What's on your mind?
Oh boy, is he done talking?
He got it all out there, a whole
answer.
plate of spaghetti.
No, I think Jeff makes a lot of great points, especially when you consider the difference between a remaster and a remake. The two or three things that come to my mind is when they remastered Punch-Out for the Wii. I would much rather play the original on Nintendo, hands down, any day of the week. Same thing when they did it with NBA Jam. Nope, the original on Sega, any day of the week. And then they did the same thing with the DuckTales game. So I think that for me, I'm thinking more of like an old school mentality versus a newer game that they just happen to be able to provide better sound, better graphics. Because it's like, no, I don't want to see the shitty updates. I want the original.
Right.
I want to play Nintendo. I want to sit down. Like if they remastered Super Mario 3, like who would want that?
Yeah. Good points. I mean, I'm with Jeff, you definitely swayed me in a different direction. I kind of feel torn now because you're right. You bring up a lot of good points. Like there's some games that if you think about your childhood, that would be great to play them in the new day and age with better graphics and 1080p or above 4K. But then there's also other games where, Justin, like you just mentioned, like Super Mario Brothers 3, you can only play it on the original. There is no better way to play it, and you would just want to play it on that version, on that system, if you got a remaster.
I think there's something to be said about like platformers and retro games. Like Justin's bringing up a lot of the old school Nintendo games. Like you can't, like Super Mario 3, even if they ported it to, well, which they did, to the Switch, it still looks the same and acts the same. You can't really, once you started getting into the 64 era of gaming, that's when things went three-dimensional, and that's the way the polygons are and how many, pixels they can fit in. Then it kind of changed. So yeah, that super retro stuff, I mean, there's, you can't really remaster it. But also like Halo, like you were saying, Eric, Halo 1's a great game, and people still say it's probably had the best multiplayer. You don't want a new one, but the problem is then you're stuck using your old Xbox by yourself on your couch, where the new one updates it, it puts it on Xbox One X, and now, oh look, you can have Justin join, you can have Dave join. Now
I don't want to play with
actually
them. I want to play
with
alone. I want to play alone with my Xbox.
But everyone played the original.
And my giant controller.
So it also, the remaster of the Halo, yeah, what it's doing is it's allowing you now to play it on the new system and to play it with friends, because we're not kids anymore. We don't just sit around, after school at each other's houses playing it. We're adults now, so
We're big boys.
with
No,
the original Halo, you have no way of playing with any of us or anyone unless they come to your house and sit there and play it.
I think what we can all agree on is that there is maybe a date in our past. Let's just call it like 2004. Any game pre-2004 can't really be remade because it's kind of in that nostalgia bucket. It's in those consoles, those versions. Not saying there's like zero games that could be remastered or whatever, but I feel like games past a certain point when we started to get to the Xbox world, the PlayStation 2 world, like having those remastered at times
from 2004
could be good. I don't know. I mean,
Ocarina of Time came out 98.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I would love a remaster and touched up version of it. But again, I think it's when they went 3D.
Steve, but okay, so you bring up an excellent point, and I know we're beating the dead horse on this conversation, the audience, but bear with me for a moment. Two things come to mind for me is when the transition to 3D came up, it destroyed Mega Man. The Mega Man 3D open world game sucked.
I agree with you on that. Mega Man's a platformer, not a 3D.
And so what we did is they came out with Mega Man 10, which was just a complete side-scroller in 8-bit graphics, which was awesome. And I think they made 10, 11, and 12, which were excellent games. So, agree with Jeff that there is some something to be said about tweaking and updating and putting it out somewhere else, because loved it. And then the other one is the same thing happened with Mortal Kombat. And they went 3D with Mortal Kombat, and the fighting was just horrendous. You couldn't do jack shit in some of those games. And then 9 and 10, I think it's 9 and 10, might be 8, 9, and 10 that came out, and they went back to the platform side-scrolling style of combat, and those games just were awesome.
Yes.
I just have to say that at some point we have to do a retro game segment on Mega Man, because I just want Justin to talk for 15 minutes on that series and really dive into those boss battles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Well, we will do that coming up in maybe a week or two for sure. But let's move on to our next segment. It's brand new. It's called New Releases. Here we go. Ooh, who doesn't like that futuristic music any time of day? But, gentlemen, I think we talk a lot about retro games, retro movies. I think we should also let our fans know about what's coming out in this world, in this time frame. So let's start with some movies coming out this week and even today on Friday. Eternals, Red Notice, and Spencer. So I'm going to hit on each one. We'll do a little speed round. Let us know your thoughts. You out there listening, let us know what you think about these. If you went out and saw it, let us know. Hit us up. So first up, Marvel Eternals, a very big, epic movie with they're putting a lot of money and effort into this. I mean, I think it's been advertised every which way. I think when I sit down on the toilet, there's something that pops up on my phone that says, "Hey, did you forget that this movie's coming out today?" I personally don't know what to think about this movie. I think they're going to really be throwing a Hail Mary for like what fans are ready for and the deep kind of comic lore that they're kind of, the knowledge that they know. I mean, I felt pretty stupid when it came to like What If and some of the Loki, like some of the lore behind it. Like I had to read up on it. So I personally feel like Eternals is like a very big movie for people, and I don't know if they're ready for it. So, Justin, let me throw that over to you. What do we think Eternals is going to do, and are you ready to go see it or excited?
I have obviously at this point of recording, I have not seen it yet. So, audience, bear with us. Yeah. We're just a couple of little baby boys. For what it's worth, my wheelhouse is very limited with Eternals knowledge. I know who they are to an extent, but I mean, at this point, I think I've got two hats that I want to wear. One is I gotta say that I feel Marvel knows what the hell they're doing. Disney knows they've got a plan. Somehow this is going to fit into a larger Fantastic story, which is cool. But at the same time, I have no interest in seeing this. I didn't see Shang-Chi. I didn't see Black Widow yet. Like, I think that they are spinning their wheels trying to just print money.
Yeah.
And for me, I can pass all of those movies and just wait for Spider-Man to come out.
Okay. Fair answer. Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really got me excited about this movie. I'm going to see it because it's Marvel, and I'll see them all at least once. And I like to try to be up to date, so I should probably go and see that one sooner than later. It just, it'd be nice if it was on Disney Plus, because I'd already rent it. Again, I've gotten to this thing where I just really don't want to go to the theater.
Yeah.
And I can go to my parents and we can, got the theater there. So what's the point of going to some smelly, loud, uncomfortable theater? But,
nerds and geeks and dorks. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, this just looks weird. I don't really know what it is. It's got a bit of a DC kind of feel to it, which I didn't like. The aliens or whatever they're fighting, it looks very generic. Marvel has been what I love about it, like Guardians and Doctor Strange and all that, is very colorful and it's very diverse. Ragnarok, all the aliens look very different and colorful and unique. And when you watch DC movies, like in I don't even know, the Justice League or whatever, all the bad guys, these flying gray looking things.
Yeah.
It's so mundane and boring to look at. And they're trying to make it epic, but it's not epic. I mean, even Lord of the Rings for its time, it had such a diverse looking creatures and things. Even the orcs all look differently, and the Uruk-hai and stuff. This just looks generic, and not in a typical Marvel way. Yes, the new Spider-Man movie is following the formula, but it looks fucking awesome.
Yep.
It's gonna be awesome. It's colorful, it's crazy, and that's what we love. This did something different. So
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I'll go see it and I'll report back, but that's it. I'm not excited about it, but I'm not excited about it.
Yeah.
It's just Marvel. I'm just going to go see it.
That's such a good way of putting it. That you should just put that on a shirt. Like, I'm excited about this movie, but not excited, because that, for me, sums it up. Like, it's
like going to McDonald's to get a Big Mac. You're excited because you're hungry, and you won't be hungry afterwards. But was that actually a good burger that you just ate? And then you're gonna shit in 10 minutes. And
one of those.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think this is a Big Mac of a movie. It's a little expensive, but are you gonna be satisfied?
Yeah, you guys.
Maybe a little. It's like masturbation. It's just you're good to go, and then you're just like, well, okay, I did that.
Well, that happened. Oops. Get the paper towels. Oopsie. Anyways. No, Eternals, though, like, to me, I started to see some things online, spoiler free, that the reviews are not as exciting as I thought they would be. They're not as, like, double thumbs up. Like, a lot of people were like, hey, Shang-Chi was really cool and innovative and exciting and fresh. And Eternals was just more like, Jeff, like you said, it was more like a DC movie. Like, it fell flat. People were just confused. There was no good pace. Like, I mean, look at the cast. I know we're spending a lot of time on Eternals here for a new release, but like they have like 10 people as like the main actors, and they have fucking Jon Snow in there who's like confused and trying to explain Thanos and all that. But like Jeff, I will go see it probably within the first week. I will probably try to catch it on the webs or in the movie theater if I can. But I'm not excited about it. I will just go see it. They'll collect my paycheck and my money, and we'll just see how it goes. But how it ranks to the rest of them, I think in a week or two, we'll let everybody know. Is it worse than Thor: The Dark World? In my book, don't.
Which I watched.
Don't hit me.
He said that, and it's not that bad of a movie.
So for me, is it worse than Thor: The Dark World, or let's say Captain Marvel or Black Widow? Again, for me, one of the top or bottom three, I should say. But anyways, Eternals is out today on Friday. Go check it out. Let us know if it's shit or if it's not. Let us know if you just want to skip it. And so moving on to the next. I know I wanted a speed round here, but Eternals was probably the most prominent movie we're going to talk about. Two other movies coming out. One is Red Notice with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. So, Black Adam, Deadpool, and Wonder Woman are going to be sharing the screen together. It's a big fucking budget movie. Like, this is like the most Netflix has ever spent on a movie to be made for some reason. It's like a spy thriller. It's coming out on Netflix. So, me personally, I saw a trailer for it. It looked halfway small, decent, exciting for me. I don't know the verbs to use or the language, but it's not. I would probably rather go see Eternals first before Red Notice. I'll throw that out there. Jeff, what about you? Is this movie even on your radar?
I don't even know what it is.
Good point.
I'm Googling it now. It's a spy movie. I could give a shit. Again, my time is limited.
Yes.
And I don't watch these. Yeah, I just
Duly
I don't watch these
noted.
type of movies.
Duly noted. Justin, have you even heard of this movie?
I saw a picture of it. I like The Rock. I like Ryan Reynolds. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with her in it. And Netflix original movies and content is usually pretty much shit as it is. So I doubt I will ever in my lifetime see this movie.
Keeping
All
my
right.
fingers crossed for Cowboy Bebop, which we should talk about at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Third movie in line is Spencer, which is Kristen Stewart is Princess Diana. I didn't even know this movie was happening. I didn't know it needed to be made. I didn't know anybody asked for it, but apparently she's making a movie where she is Princess Diana, and it follows the life of Princess Diana. And I don't know. I saw a couple pictures of it. I have not seen a trailer, but apparently that's coming out this weekend too. So I doubt anybody else has thoughts on that, but that is coming out. And if you're into that stuff, again, let us know.
I'm absolutely going to watch it. I have a very stupid. Yeah, I've known about it. I have a soft spot for like period pieces set in like.
Did you say fetish?
Royal.
Oh, no.
I watched all of Downton Abbey. I watched The Crown. I watched this. I have a guilty pleasure when it comes to like royal stuff. I've watched Versailles. I've watched all that shit. The Tudors. Like, yeah, I'm in on this.
So
because I like that stuff.
Jeff, I have to imagine Justin has no comment here. I'll give him 3 seconds to respond.
That.
But Jeff, what is it about this movie? Because like me personally, I like different kinds of movies. So like, what is it about this that maybe you're excited about?
So I've always found like Princess Diana as very fascinating. I think outside of Marilyn Monroe, well, no, she is the most like photographed human on the planet and still is. Not when you count in like social media bullshit, but no, it's just the whole royal thing is just fascinating to me. It always has been. I mean, this goes back to just my love of fantasy novels and Lord of the Rings and just how kings and queens and all that, and then it just bleeds over and how this school teacher got herself mixed up with these psychopaths, and just the way it all runs and how I find it fascinating. I loved watching her parts in The Crown, and I would love to see a movie that's just focused on her. I remember when she got in the car accident. We were all very little. It was, I mean, she made a huge impression on the earth, and she was a super caring and giving person that did a lot of like charity work even when she left. I don't know. I just find anything that has to do with some sort of royal thing, I just get into. I mean, I'm obsessed with Downton Abbey, and it's so stupid, but I like how the whole hierarchy thing works. I don't know.
Okay. Well, when you watch it, let us know. We'll definitely come back for a follow-up on that one because, again, like I personally, if it's anything but like I don't even know a genre that I don't really like. Like I even like rom-coms. I like musicals. Like Jeff, let me know if it's good, and I'll probably end up watching it. But I'm hearing some buzz that Kristen Stewart is doing a great job. Some people are calling it a masterpiece already.
I don't know how they made her look like her. I remember seeing pictures when they first came out.
Yeah, but she's no longer, kissing vampires. That's for sure. So props to her. So those are our movie releases coming out soon here. Eternals, Red Notice, and Spencer. Go check them out. And on the gaming side, some new games coming out. One of those is Mario Party Superstars. Which, do we need another game where we just want to hate our friends and make them leave our homes? Do we need that in our life? I
Yes.
don't know. I find it interesting that the months coming up where it's winter and we're all going to be inside and together, that they release Mario Party Superstars. Like, that's got to be by design, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. We got that squared away. But like, you have to imagine, like, everybody at home, all the family playing together, like, people will, like, homes are falling apart this winter. So thanks, Nintendo, for doing this.
Right. We just did it a couple weekends ago. We had the whole family in and we played, and it was chaos.
Yeah.
And it's fun chaos. And I love Mario Party for, when all families over and stuff. It's easy for everyone anyone can play it.
Yeah.
Sure, just give us more.
My only gripe about Mario Party games is that it's really, really fucking slow. Like, you mash those buttons to, like, let's go. I want to hit the fucking dice, and let's go. We're going to get to the next game.
What was the last one you played?
Oh, God. Whatever's on the Switch. I think the one before this one. Whatever it is. Like Mario Party 10.
They have Battle. They have different ones that are way more fast-paced. You should give it a shot.
Because I like those, but then if you play against the computers, like, it's always bullshit. They get like 15 stars at the end, and then you lose against the system.
You're mad you lost.
I am mad that I lost, but
it's so like playing Monopoly.
But I feel like, again, Nintendo, like, you're copy and pasting the game. I feel like they don't have too many levels or like worlds that you get to play Mario Party on. Like look what they did with what was it, Smash Brawl, or the latest Smash Brothers Ultimate, where now they have like 80 levels and like 50 characters. Like, that thing's really grown into a beast. I wish they would do that with Mario Party. I think it would make it a little bit more enjoyable, as opposed to, like, who are the superstars? The superstars. Like, nobody gives a fuck. But good luck, have fun, play that one. Bloodshore, I have no clue what this game is about. Have you guys even heard of Bloodshore?
No.
Okay, good, because we're going to skip that one. That shit's coming out apparently this week. Just Dance 2022. I remember this coming out back in like 2009 or 2010, like the original. This was like when Kinect was hot. I don't know if you guys remember the Kinect on the 360.
Yeah.
But this game, it's like, it was almost like when I saw the picture of it, I'm like, is this like, now that's what I call music volume 460? Is that what we're up to nowadays? Because like Just Dance, is that still a game people play? Like, Jeff, do you see anybody on Twitch or anywhere like still play these games?
Yeah, I mean, I just did a Google search right now. There's a bunch of people playing them.
Oh, God. So they're out there.
You'll always find someone be playing something. What's really cool is in like Japan and Korea, they have these giant game centers, and these type of games are really big over there. They have even other ones that you use your hands and you're doing. I mean, they have some crazy shit. I don't know about game console version ones, but there are people that play it, and you can find them on Twitch right now.
Yeah,
those aren't games that I play.
I feel like it was just the phase back in like Rock Band and Just Dance, and I feel like there was a third one, like another dancing game that people did, where it was cool for like between like 2006 and 2012 or something. But like, Justin, have you ever played any of those games?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Rock Band and Guitar Hero, yeah, but the dancing ones, I mean, contrary to the belief of how much I was dancing at the bar on Halloween, I'm not a big dancer.
I mean, that could have been a whole level right there. That would have been like the boss level, like dance like this for 14 minutes. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But Just Dance 2022, that bad boy's coming out. And then who gives a flying fuck about this one? Call of Duty Vanguard. That game's coming out apparently today, November 5th. Just another one, another copy and paste. That's all they do. I've ranted about this before. I did a little rants of my own. But Call of Duty, just please stop. Just take your time, make a game that people will like. Make it like hopefully Halo Infinite, and I don't eat my words here. That's coming out in a couple weeks. But Call of Duty, just stop. We're good. I get it. They're just like Jeff, like you said. It just makes money. They're a cash cow, so they're gonna keep doing it until kids keep buying it. So go watch those movies, play those games, let us know what you think, and maybe we'll pick some up and play with you. That being said, let's move on to our last main quest of the day. So, a fun little teaser trailer came out this past week, which was Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear movie. So, if I understand this correctly, the Toy Story movie, Buzz Lightyear is actually based off of a movie character called Buzz Lightyear. So he's not just like a toy that's being sold and that's why people love him, but he's actually based off of this movie figure called Buzz Lightyear. So this Pixar movie is Buzz Lightyear in the Toy Story cinematic universe, of which the toy was based off of. So if you're still with me and your brain doesn't hurt, I watched the trailer. I am a little bit blown away as to how far Pixar has come with their graphics and the details and what they're trying to do. But like, I personally don't know if I care about this movie. I'm going to throw that out there. Maybe a little bit unpopular opinion, but Jeff, let me toss this over to you. What did you think about the new Lightyear trailer, the whole Buzz Lightyear, like kind of solo cinematic universe here?
Yeah, I don't care.
So
this brings up a great question we'll have to save it for another time, on, the kind of way Hollywood is and movie studios are going with these rehashed or just using IPs that are already there to make movies about them. And again, that's something we can talk about maybe next week. But
yeah,
as for this, I don't care. I don't care.
yeah,
Maybe I'll watch it if my niece has it on. I don't really care.
yeah. Okay, fair answer, Justin.
I gotta say, I equally don't care, nor do I understand why they are replacing Tim Allen's voice with Chris Evans. But I will say, I do think Buzz Lightyear. I think potentially this could be a really cool movie for children.
It probably will be good. I don't care.
I'm not a child, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not for us.
Right. I just think, like Jeff, like you said, I mean, I guess I'll admit, like Pixar and Disney, they are trying to create some new characters in movies like, I don't know, like, what is it? Raya and the Last Dragon and Coco and, God, was the fucking Merman movie that just came out. Whatever that was. Like, they're trying to create new characters, but it's like, why go back and try to, like, make this subpar or subject of one of the movies of the movie of the guy of the toy of Toy Story? Like, who gives a fuck? I'd rather watch a movie of, like, what's his name, Dennis Nedry from the second one, who was like, I don't know, pulling apart toys and like kind of the toy maker. Like, I'd rather watch a movie of, like, what his upbringing was as opposed to Buzz Lightyear, because it's actually going to be like weird and interesting.
Man, what would be?
I'd rather watch a Buzz Lightyear than that other guy. What the hell?
No, can we just talk for real quick and just do like an absolute simple side quest? I know we're coming up.
Keep
to
it
time,
going.
but if there were a movie about the guy that made the Zoltar machine in Big, I would watch that shit. So, what's your favorite Tom Hanks movie, and why is it Big?
It's Forrest Gump all day. I can't. Cheat on my Forrest Gump. If it wasn't Forrest Gump, I would go Burbs.
Oh, nice.
Or Money Pit. I mean, it's too many to name.
Maybe let's table this discussion for next week. Let's
Good
get
point.
into some Tom Hanks.
This is like a national treasure.
He did it all. I mean, he's played every national treasure. He's a national treasure that played every national treasure of a person as like a
But wasn't in National Treasure for some reason.
Ooh, wait until the third, though. It's in production, I think, until Nicolas Cage has to sell all his comics because he's ran out of money.
His career is in Hollywood ever. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Let's do.
We'll table it. We'll table it till next time. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our very fun episode. Thanks for joining us. And gentlemen, how shall we end it today? I'm thinking, Jeff, be Tom Hanks, but you have to say to infinity and beyond as Woody.
Oh, gosh.
Can you do it?
Good luck.
Infinity beyond.
Why are you Asian?
Yeah, why was that? It's got to be like Buzz, but to infinity and beyond. Buzz.
Infinity. Buzz Infinity.